And we're back with Going Corn, Season 4, Episode number 9, I believe. Today, I am joined again by your favorite taco and mine, Ryan Vogus. Welcome to the show, Ryan.
Hey, Greg. It's nice to hear that. It's interesting. It's been an interesting week in the Leroy world.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I know people were looking forward to potentially hearing from somebody else this week.
Dave is scheduled for next week, people. Okay, let's get that out of the way now. 30 seconds in the podcast. The electric episode of Dave Music is next week.
We're not silencing Dave. He had a couple statements that I'll bring up at the end of the podcast. But yeah,
It's going to be a fun show today.
We're excited. Next week, Dave will be making his podcast debut. And rumors have it that this might be the summer of Dave in the podcast world for wiffle ball.
That is a bold statement. I think you might be right about that. But
rumors are swirling.
Yes, lots of activity tonight and this week. So
I can't keep up with everything going on.
So what we're going to do is, we got a lot to get to, but we're going to start off as always with recapping last week and talking about the games. So we're just going to jump right into it. So I'm going to start off with the Barnstormers. The Barnstormers win both games 1-0 over the Flamingos, and I know that last one was a walk-off. Flamingos, pretty decent team, and against the best team in the league, held them to 2 runs over 2 games. Just couldn't get any offense going. But
yeah, that's always been the Barnstormers' MO, is just finding a way to win
tight games. Yeah,
they always seem to do it. It seems kind of fluky, but if you constantly do something over and over again, it's kind of
can be fluky, right?
Yeah, it's just they're made for that kind of situation. They're built to not crack under pressure and just come through in the clutch, whether it's Gags or Tuck or Hayworth, whoever. I don't know who.
Yeah, and I think that Gags and Tuck, being together for so long on this team, for the last 2 years is really kind of...
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll get to that, but Tuck took a shot at me about only wanting to play with the same people all the time, but it seems like he's got a little bit of that in him too. So.
Yeah, and he did just sign somebody too this week. So
yeah, interesting.
You want to tell us about the Melonheads and Maniacs series?
Yeah, so it looks like game 1, they were on the corn shed. It looks like the Maniacs won 1-0. Little theme here with that. I believe, I could be wrong, I could be getting my weeks messed up, but Kevin told me that he hit like a single and there was like an error and he ended up just scoring on it all the way around. I think it was something like that. I could be wrong, but I remember him telling me something along those lines, that it was just kind of a crazy play that won the game for him. And then game 2, they won 3-0, so a little bit more offense there for him. But yeah,
that was a big series.
Yeah, it was.
2 4-6 teams going in. One walked away 6-6. Another now Melonheads are sitting at 4-8.
Yeah, Maniacs are good. Their roster is constantly evolving.
Yep.
Who did they pick up last week?
They got Capoch.
Oh yeah, they just picked him. Yeah, he hasn't played with them yet, right?
Nope.
I know. Last time I was on this podcast, I spoke on Facebook or something. I spoke highly of the kid. He's going to be a good one going forward. He's super young. But
yeah, from what you said, he's got a good arm, so that's always a good start.
And he's got a nice bat, too. He might weigh 110 pounds soaking wet, but the kid can play.
Yeah.
So that was a big signing. I think Kevin's a very underrated owner.
Oh, yeah, he's solid. He's always in transactions. He's always wondering. He always thinks that something else is going on, like somebody knows. Like Ty Bothwell was on the team.
Yeah.
For the Badgers, and he was like, "Wait, is Ty leaving still? Is Ty doing?" Like, he's always got to know. He thinks everyone knows information that he doesn't, but so he's very on top of it. We love having Kevin. He's a great owner.
Yeah,
so
he's fantastic, and he gets diamonds in the rough. And Van Kuiken, my guy, is having a breakout year this year.
Doing pretty well for him.
Adding Mason to the roster too. I think he's putting together a nice little team.
Yeah.
So.
They're going to be tough to come playoff time. They'll be a tough team.
Hopefully they don't have the same results as last year.
Yeah, that would be tough. But
they won't be going in as the 1 seed probably. But
yeah. So next is the Liners and Sliders. Liners get, I think, probably their second sweep of the year. They win 10-8 and 10-2 against the Sliders. Sliders with kind of an underwhelming team with Jordan, John, Quinn, and I forget even the other one.
Who knows?
Yeah, well, he kind of last minute shuffled his team around. Couldn't get Robbie there, or who's the other one on his team? I don't know, but
yeah.
So
I don't know. I think this has been kind of a reoccurring theme, but the Liners start out slow every week. I mean, they still won this game, but last week they lost to the Maniacs
in the
14-13, and then won the next game 15-10. Same thing here, won 10-8, and then dominated game 2 10-2. So it could have something to do with Caleb sliding into that 2 slot recently.
Yeah.
He knows he's probably going to take game 2, so he's just kind of trying to guarantee himself a split.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's trying to kind of play it off that way. So, you want to talk about my series?
Yeah, our series. So the Noble Narwhals versus the Walking Tacos. Bloodbath game 1, 14-6. Jackson Bazia returned his long-awaited debut.
Be Noble.
So I didn't get to watch much of game 1, but I know he started off his season with a home run.
Yep.
And I think Greg said he was pitching pretty well. I'm sure something happened with Tyler during the series to blow up and inflate these scores, but
no, actually,
no, it wasn't him.
It was Jason and Sam, because the second game was 13-3. Sam gave up 8 in that game, in that second game, and Jason gave up, I think, 8 in the first game between 2 innings.
Yeah, we'll get back to that, to the Sam situation in a little while here.
So
I have a stat.
Yeah, from my perspective, I played one game. Wes played one game.
Oh yeah.
So
Wes looks.
He
Wes
was a little drunk by the.
He's a little
game.
drunk, but I did see a
Still
couple of
good.
his at bats against Jackson where he was just painting corners on him, and
yeah, he's he'll do that. But yeah, so that worked out for me in that I was kind of nervous about doing that, but it worked out. So we were
another
able
sweep
to take
for the
both
Narwhals.
games. Yeah.
Narwhals are a force to be reckoned with.
I hope. And then the Riot and the Badgers.
Yeah. So this was an interesting series.
No scoring.
I can admit that I probably had my worst showing at the plate in the history of wiffle ball or my career. I went 0 for 11. A lot of contact on the ball, just right at people. And I think Jared, I mean, we were all kind of in the same boat. Just we were put in contact, but it was just right at people. But Bo hit a walk-off home run in game number 1. Kuna had a solo shot to put the Riot up. Yeah, Bo had a 2-run walk-off home run to win the game for us there. And then we went into game 2, and it happened to us. So no scoring throughout the whole game. It was kind of just a pitcher's duel up and down the board, and Kuna walked off Bo. So it was he got him back. Bo walked.
Kuna's
up.
bat's been pretty good this year.
He looked great. He might have got a double off of me on my fast pitch, which isn't normal. So yeah, he was swinging a good bat last week. We just had the wind blowing in pretty decent, so not a lot of scoring there. But yeah, Riot took a big game from the Badgers that wasn't expected for us.
No, not a lot of people expected that, but
and I think that might have played a little bit into some things that happened.
So, and I did forget we have one more series. The Porkers in a surprising sweep of the Sluggers, 18-4 and 16-12.
Yeah.
So first game not competitive at all.
No, I didn't get to watch any of this. I know Eric had a new not impressive lineup that he brought out there. I can't remember. It was him and Alec, but
yeah, him, Alec, Bryce, and Cole. I mean, Cole's his 4th. Cole Deardoff.
Yeah, I hear that name all the time. I couldn't tell
Yeah,
you who that is.
he's kind of been here and there, but yeah, I mean, they all didn't pitch well.
I don't know who Bryce is either.
Yeah, Bryce was someone new they signed this week just to play. He gave up 8 runs, gave up max runs. Alec gave up 3. Eric gave up 2. Cole gave up 5. So
Eric's been slipping a little bit recently. Gave up a home run to
Grant.
To Grant fast pitch last week. Giving up a couple runs this week. But yeah, it was. I mean, that's a annihilation.
Yeah.
By the Porkers. What happened game 2? 16-12. So the wind had to be blowing straight out, right?
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, I think it was blown out. Yeah.
That's, I mean.
And fun fact, I think Shane Anderson played this game. He was 6 for 8 in that first game with 3 home runs, 5 RBIs. But I think he said they're 5-1 when he comes.
Really?
So it's an interesting. So when he doesn't play, that affects him. That's an interesting fact.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him. Maybe I faced him this year, but he's been pretty seldomly there. Obviously, about half the year so far. So
yeah, it's just hard for him to come out a lot. But
I guess he gives them a solid. I don't know where he's at in the lineup, but he's just a solid option for you.
Yeah.
Whose roster seems to fluctuate on the regular, and he's constantly shopping his entire team.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen some screenshots, seen some offers on the table. But I mean, that's a huge series for the Porkers and for the whole league itself.
Yeah,
for you, for the Narwhals, for everyone, and for the Barnstormers, kind of running away with it a little bit here. So
yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a fun stretch run because I mean, there's still a lot of teams, a lot left to be done. So update on the standings real quick before we kind of move along. If I can get here, I know the first few. Number 1 is still Barnstormers at 12-0. Narwhals moving to second at 9-3. At 8-4, there's a tie between the Liners, Sluggers, and Badgers. 6-6 in sixth place is the Maniacs.
Hail Satan.
5-7 Porkers are tied with the Riot, but I think the Porkers have the ranking tie break. It's something Tim does a ranking like based off how well your team's done in terms of scoring, and
so it's not head to head like just a normal team would do. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's so if you look at it right now, the Liners would be third. Sluggers would be fourth. Yeah, and then Melonheads and Sliders are at 4 and 8, and then the Flamingos at 3 and 9 are.
Well, it looks like it's just run differential.
On here it might be, but essentially it's to figure it out. It's ranking, I guess. So it's weird. Tim does it, and then Tacos sit at 0-12. But we're gonna talk about here. Let me get to the transaction chat because this was the biggest moves week in probably Leroy history. It was insane. It started off with all the moves. So essentially, the move was, what happened was the Badgers traded Ryan, Kubaki, and Sammy to the Tacos, and then that's the Badgers get to sign Bo to their main roster. They get
Sam Stahl,
and Jason Hilligans, and now Jake is on their Kermit roster. Whew.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a lot.
And there was a lot more moves that were done, and Badgers got Rat too.
Yes, yeah, that's right. So Rat goes in that move as well.
Yeah, so there was a lot of moving pieces. A lot of things had to happen for that to be done as wanted to be executed. I mean, I think it worked out for both sides.
I think so too.
I don't know how the rest of the league.
Sam plays really well with Jared.
Yeah,
I think that'll be a good change of scenery for him.
Yeah. I know a lot of people. I mean, I've been told that the Badgers got kind of creamed on that trade. That their team got significantly worse.
Well, I mean, you gotta look at it. I think Jason and Sam are going to play a lot better for
sure
on the Badgers.
I mean, chemistry definitely plays a part in everything.
And I think T-Walk, it works out for him because, and for you guys, because you're all going to be playing together from GBL. Like, I think it does good for your team. So I think it's just the best of both worlds situation.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think there's any bad blood. It's just
this was a roster for the Crocs last year. There was a couple weeks where it was me, Jackson, Tyler, and Kubaki.
Yeah,
and they both played way above. Well, Kubaki this year is just an anomaly, but
Yeah.
They both.
Big spider.
We got huge bugs here in the Yonkman basement. This is not ideal. But yeah, it's, Kubaki and Tyler tend to play pretty well with me. Greg's on spider hunt right now, so I'll keep it going. But yeah, the Badgers move kind of came as a shock to everyone, but I think it was time for me to move on. We did pretty well together. They're 9-3, but yeah, it'll be a good change of scenery for both of us. For Sam to go there, for me to go with Jackson and Tyler. Yeah.
Update: Spider's dead.
Spider is
so you can
confirmed
stop
dead.
talking.
Yeah. I tried there. Notebook and Croc killed the spider.
So Croc Rock, baby.
Yeah.
So moving along, Tuck signs Turpin to his team for Mike Greer.
Yeah.
Mike Greer not doing much.
I think Tim said he was the last main roster guy in the league that hadn't played a game yet.
Yeah.
So shout out to Mike Greer.
Then Mason C gets
Come on,
added.
show some respect. Give it a shot.
Kapouch.
There you
That's
go.
what I'm gonna say.
Perfect.
So, and then Deckinga gets put to Kermit, which will come up later.
Free Deckinga.
Eric decides to sign.
Wait, what
Andrew-
team is Deckinga on?
He's on the Maniacs.
Okay.
Brian Travis gets dropped to Kermit for Andrew Sitter for the Maniacs.
Oh yeah, I forgot that they got him too. Good move.
Yeah, decent move. He's not playing well, so I mean,
He's got
more potential though.
yeah.
Once
I faced
shakes
him,
the rust
I faced
off.
him last week. He's got some good
Pitching is good.
Yeah, he's got good velocity and stuff. He was a little wild. But yeah, I mean, I don't know the old Sitter, so I can't. I just know what you guys talk about.
Yeah, so Brett got traded to Caleb for Luke Ballish. So
I mean, it's a fair trade.
not in 100 years.
I don't know.
Jordan's the
Luke's
dumbest person in the fucking world.
Luke's an up and comer.
He goes, "Oh, Brett won't show up ever again." Okay, dumbass.
I don't know.
You don't think he's gonna
Ballish has
show
got
up.
great potential.
Totally. So, yeah,
it's-
Chris Bartley got added to the Kermit for the tacos,
Yes, sir.
prompting Tuck to say, "Vogus, Jorge making T-Walk bring the only two people he wants to play wiffle ball with."
The salt was out that day. But as I stated earlier, Tuck has the same exact team that he had last year.
True.
Also. So
So
shout out to the Gas House Gorillas.
So anyway, we're going to get into our topic here. So this got brought up on our questions for tonight, and I think it'd be a good topic here to go over here in the middle of the show before we continue on. So Rob brings up, he said, this is the second year in a row that teams that are super strong in form, so like super teams, that shouldn't be possible. And he's talking about the Sluggers from last year getting John Gibson and all those players on that team.
Yeah.
And now Brett and Kayla being on the same team. Now, let's start with that first. Like, do you think that's fair?
Brett's availability is super low. So
True.
I think people are being over dramatic about this a little bit. Yes,
Okay.
if Brett's there for the playoffs, they're gonna be very tough to get out.
And with flex scheduling, though, it makes it,
Yeah. For
Now,
sure.
I know he's questionable at all times, because
Yeah.
he doesn't.
No, on paper, it's it's bullshit.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what you get for continuously letting Jordan be an owner. When you guys you guys complain about it every year that he does something stupid, and here we are.
Yeah, well.
But yeah, I mean, that's the flaws of a salary system, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
there's not too many flaws to it. I mean, Tim's got a great system.
Yeah, it's
with the
a
salaries.
really good system, but yeah, sometimes it just happens.
Yeah, stuff
And it's
falls
happened
through
now
the
2
cracks.
years in a row where really good players in the past have not played well.
Yeah.
And so Sitter might be in that same boat.
Yeah,
He's, $17, $18 right now,
yeah.
but if he starts coming and comes in the playoffs, he could potentially be, you know, $40 player by the end of the year.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that, yeah, that's kind of sucky that ends up happening. But, I mean, you just got to trust that there's enough talent in this league to kind of help out. Because Rob brings up the point. He says, well, you know, the Flamingos can't sign like him and Elijah to the main roster.
Right.
And they're playing every week and they're doing well. And, I mean, and then Deckinga says, you know, I get tired of being put on Kermits and, you know, not being able to play. And there is a loan system. You can play for another person if they're on your Kermit.
Yeah.
Like I had somebody on my team say today, like, oh, so I guess I'm not playing. And I'm like, well, you didn't tell me you were available, but I will, you know, see if anybody needs a player.
So
but then also it's like, then they choose. They say, well, I don't want that person.
Yeah. Do you want to go straight into the expansion comments, or do you want to wait?
Yeah, I mean, this is all part of the same thing, right?
Here's my.
You know? So, yeah, it got brought up about expansion. Tim's been wanting to go to. He's been saying for a couple weeks he wants to go to 16 teams. Yeah. I've said I've always been cautious with all this. Now, I agree. When we moved, I think, from 8 to 11 one year, and then we went 11 to 12. That jump from 8 to 11 I thought was going to be a lot. It ended up working out. So, yeah, I mean, I admit that, like, but I'm always cautiously thinking about I'd rather have demand rather than too much supply.
And I know Tim bashes me for GBL and all this shit, but, like, I somewhat know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So my fear, if you keep increasing the amount of teams, like, we're really at a good spot in the league of competition right now.
Yep.
Pretty much everyone's competitive. I mean, Tacos just revamped their roster, so, I mean, even your bottom teams are going to have a shot. Mm-hmm. If you start spreading the talent too thin, you're going to have... I mean, it's not going to be as competitive. If stuff like the Caleb thing happens, nobody's going to be able to beat them.
Yeah.
Because there's not going to be any teams that can compete. And then you also have the fact that your average league age is getting older now.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the 18-year-olds that it was when Leroy first started. Like, you're already seeing with Brett, like, 2-3 years ago, you never would have thought Brett would have an availability issue for Leroy.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, now he's questionable. Like, you got Garrett Lytle questionable every week, maybe showing up, maybe not. Matt's falling kind of towards not playing as much anymore. So fucking there's gonna be a wedding in 2 weeks on the field.
Yeah.
Like, people are getting older, people are getting into real life, so you're gonna start having availability issues here in the next couple of years. So,
and that's kind of my point is, like, I hate saying
so
this.
I have a suggestion whenever you can finish. But
yeah, so, like, here's my thing. I'm always of the fact of I'd rather have, and I think we're at a good spot right now, because if you really count up each week how many people are not being able to play that, like, you know, want to play, is like 5, roughly,
right.
Like, that I count. Tim will say, he'll make up stuff and say so-and-so said they wanted to play. That's not true. Like, he said Mills wanted to play last week, or whatever, 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, he's working. That's a lie.
Yeah,
that's just bullface. You know what I'm saying? So Tim's just making up this stuff, but that is Tim. But I think it's not worth it to add 2 to 4. That's insane to me. Adding 4 extra teams, because also the ownership issue. Right, we just talked about
Jordan's.
We had to find 2 owners at the very last second. Grant had to step in, and also we had to get Ian in because Elijah was not responding to anything. So, I mean, love Elijah. He's been there every week, and he had that chance to be his own team and control his stuff.
Sure. And I know you brought that up in the chat too, which was, you were getting sick of like not knowing if you're going to play 1 week or not, so you became an owner to just get rid of that problem altogether.
Absolutely.
It's like I said earlier, like Garrett being an owner, like, he can't even show up half the time, so you're just risking that. So
what's your suggestion?
My thought earlier, I was thinking about it, just brainstorming of what could solve this problem. And I don't know how it would affect Tim's little stat system and whatnot, but GBL does it. The NWLA does it. Why not implement that a team can have an extra hitter in their lineup? You can keep your same 4-man rotation, so your fifth guy is a pitcher, still, or so your ace pitches twice still. Just have a fifth guy in the batting lineup.
Yeah. I actually thought of that too. I was thinking, what if you just add a fifth player?
Yeah. He doesn't have to field. He doesn't have to be a pitcher.
And I think that would be great because that could still give. I think batting is the thing that anyone in this league can do.
Yeah, and that's the thing that people want to come do.
And and like for people like Grant or like me or other people that have really problems pitching, you could put them in that fifth spot so they could still bat and be part of the game.
Yeah.
But not have to worry about pitching or fielding.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. I was just thinking just put that fifth player in. That adds 12 extra players.
Yeah. Or yeah, you can do that too, and it would eliminate a part of it to where your number one only throws once. So it kind of it would eliminate that strategy, but
or you could go up to 5.
Yeah.
Make it just an option because then that way, like the Flamingos had that, like they argued for Elijah to be on the team this week because they said we just lost 1-0 to the best team in the league. We think Elijah earned that spot.
Yeah.
And Grant had a tough decision, so he moved Luke out of it, and now Luke wants off the team. And it's understandable.
You could do some. I know there would be people trying to work around it. Like, if your last guy is a terrible pitcher, you throw him. Like, make it that your main roster guys are the ones that have to pitch, and if you have a DH, that's somebody off of your Kermit or something.
Yeah.
If you brainstormed it for a couple hours, I'm sure you could figure it out.
We could figure out something, that
would work. So that would be my suggestion instead of expanding
teams.
Just expand your roster.
That's a decent idea.
Potential lineup to
and you could
these
even
guys out there because this league
with
is built
3
on
Kermits
inclusion.
now too. You have 7 people on your team, so I could definitely put Mills if he wanted to play this week. I could definitely just put him in right there and be done.
Yeah.
Have no problem. But
and have it just be a regular season thing. Once the playoffs come, have your lineup to 4 like it was. Just do something like that.
But that way, the regular season, everyone gets to play.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's a good point. So
I just have ideas. That's why I offered my services to Tim the other day. He pseudo added me to the board and then booted me off today because I opposed one opinion of his. So
yes, so
I don't know. I got ideas, Tim. If you want to stop being a overlord and listen to people,
never.
You got my number.
So, okay. So that's a good point to take a little break here for a second. So we'll come back, recap, or go over next week, and then get into that huge question bag as always.
Yep.
All right, and we're back on the other side. We're going to go ahead and start previewing games. Ryan's going to start us off with my matchup.
All right, so we got the Badgers versus the Narwhals on Minute Maid. So the New Look Badgers are rolling with Sheriff, Sam, Bo, and Jason Hilligans, and the Narwhals are rolling out a Gregless lineup of
last time of the year, probably.
Yeah, we'll see. We got Kyle Schaff, Wes in the 2, Dave in the 3, and Cam Varlon in the 4. Greg, what do you think?
I hope we can come out with 2. But it's gonna be tough. I know it's kind of like tacos adjacent here a bit. Bo and Sheriff are a lot better upgrade from T-Walk.
Yeah.
So, and Buzz is about the same as probably Jared. If we can do what we did against Buzz and paint, because that's kind of what we did. That's what they did against Jackson is they painted corners on him and got him in strike counts where he had to swing and fast pitch.
Yeah.
That's the big key to Jared's game. If you get him 0-2 right away or, in a 2-strike count before slow pitch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make him swing. It's a good spot. And then he's really the big bat in that lineup. Him and Bo are pretty good, but Jared, I think, is the one you hold him. I think that's key to the series. And then our pitching's been really good, so hoping we can keep that up. So what's your prediction?
So you got a sweep?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean,
Your former team.
my former team, I believe that they are going to get swept this week. Greg, just this 4-man lineup that you have, obviously you're not going to be able to use it at the end of the year, but it's the
Well,
best.
I don't think I'll have it next week. I'm sure somebody's going to sign Wes at some point.
It's the best 1 through 4 possible.
Yeah.
Based off of anyone's Kermits and stuff. It's just really good. 1 through 4 can all pitch and they can all hit. It's really good. This is Sheriff's first time being in the 1 spot this year, so we got to see how he takes over as their ace. I know he's got Sam in the 2, but the hitting's not there now, so it's going to take some adapting for the Badgers. I think they'll be fine, but Narwhals are a buzzsaw right now. I don't see them going down anytime soon, and then I'm just here for the Sam versus Dave. God, I love it so much.
Oh, it drives me nuts.
It's matchup number 3 for Sam Stahl versus Dave this year. Sam's been
Yeah.
3 different
He's
teams.
on 3 different teams, and each time he's had to face.
Each time he's faced the Narwhals. It's been fantastic.
I've tried to quell the arguments.
It did
but
not happen last week.
No, it didn't. I tried. I told him to shut up, but
Yep. Nope.
yeah. So
Dave will be Dave. Sam will be Sam.
So I was thinking because I'm going on a trip. I'm going on my
Yeah.
camping trip, so that's kind of why.
Greg using the RV without us. Sad.
Well,
No invites still. Greg is the new Rat Lake House. His RV is the new Rat
what do you
Lake
mean?
House.
When have we had a chance?
I don't know.
I told you
Life's
nationals.
full of chances, Greg.
Yikes. Okay, getting real deep on me. Anyway, we're moving on. Melonhead Sluggers. This can be a fun matchup to watch between a lot of friends. You got the Melonheads are rolling out. Let me see here. Garrett, Jeff Borkowski, John Lytle, and Chandler against Eric, Alec, Brian Travis, and Cole Deardoff. It should be a good matchup. I'm gonna say a split.
Okay.
I think the Melonheads really need to win a game here. And yeah, of course, Mr. Splits says a split. Wow, amazing. But
Who's on the Melonheads?
the Garrett, Jeff Borkowski, John Lytle, and Chandler. Chandler's actually been playing pretty decently. They only lost those games. They're losing close games.
Yeah.
They're kind of the opposite of the Barnstormers.
Right.
The Barnstormers win a lot of close games. They're losing a lot of close games. So I say split here. Like I said, I really think they need this win.
Yeah.
So
They definitely do. I think Eric's going to come back this week though with a chip on his shoulder.
Absolutely.
They got embarrassed last week by the Porkers, who were on a 6 or 8 game slide and came out and swept the number 2 team in the league. So I think Eric comes back this week. He's got Travis back in his lineup, so a little bit. I mean, that's his guy. They know how to play together. So I just think the Sluggers get back to form here. I think they sweep.
All right. So sweep and a split. So let's hear about the Sliders and the Riot.
Okay, so the Riot. I gotta find these lineups. This is a mess. So the Riot are rolling out with I don't even know who's on the Riot.
It says let's do Kuna, Marty, Tim, and Warner, Austin Warner.
Oh wow, I thought he was overseas.
I will be staying far away from that field.
So yeah, that's their lineup, and I already forgot the Sliders. We got, I think I have it, John, Robbie, Luke, and Jordan. Go ahead, Greg. I'm all over the place right now.
Yeah. So Tim went out to dinner, so we were going off of a board chat where he sent a bunch of these things. So anyway, so Sliders Riot. This is a tough one. This is some pretty evenly matched teams here. I'm actually gonna say the Warner doesn't do it for me though. That's the thing. He hasn't played in so long.
Yeah.
He's out of tune. I don't know how he's gonna do. I trust Kuna and Marty to bat, and Tim I don't think will give up 8 runs again. The last time he pitched was against us and he gave up 8 and then 0. I'm gonna say Sliders sweep.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna go the split route on this one. I do think both teams, they're pretty evenly matched, like you said. So this one, nothing really stands out to me. I mean, I know you said the Warner thing does come into play. It's been a while since I've seen him play. I remember him being pretty just a good player.
He's decent, you know, upper 20s, $30 player.
Yeah, so I mean, him and Moselle, I feel like kind of cancel each other out there. So and then just if Tim steps up, then I think Tim will have to have a decent game for them to take a game. Yeah, because those top ones kind of all wash each other out. Yeah. So I think it is.
I think that 3 matchup. Yeah, Luke and Tim are going to be the X factor in those games.
For sure. So I'm going split there.
All right. Next up is the tacos, the new look tacos with me, which is actually myself. Ryan Vogus.
Yeah, I turned the lineup in this week for our team.
Jackson, Kubaki, and T-Walk. No surprise there on that lineup. And then Ian, Jack Hilligans, Jake Van Buren, and Owen Winters, possibly playing with his opposite hand again.
Jake Van Buren.
Yep.
How the hell is he on that team?
That's the loaner Kermit thing we were talking about earlier.
Okay.
So, see, players can be loaned, but it's just a matter of who they want to get playing for them.
Fair enough. Okay.
Which is kind of another issue, but man, this is tough because your team is very good right now. Like, it's the Crocs team of last year, and that Crocs team was very good. Now, I know Jackson's not full health, but his pitching is good. He's probably going to throw up 2 zeros, 3 zeros between both games. And but, I mean, the Porkers are hot. But with Jake and Owen, though, that might be the difference there. So I'm actually going to say Tacos are going to get their first wins, multiple, on the year and take a sweep against the Porkers. Sorry, Ian.
Yeah. I mean, I just played the Porker, this kind of look Porkers 2 weeks ago.
With that wind howling out.
I mean, that game was a joke. So, I mean, nothing really mattered in that game.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Ian, he still needs to step up. Jack's obviously good. He's always going to get some hits, and if his pitching's on. But Jake, I mean, I've been playing with him for the whole season. He can't hit.
Nope.
At all. He's got a
he can pitch, but
he's got a good arm when he's on. But he just can't. He cannot hit at all. And Owen's pretty decent, but I mean, if me and Jackson do our job, I don't have any defense behind me whatsoever. With
you
my
got to
team.
get a lot of strikeouts.
I have to. I mean, I have to be the ace that I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. Because you got to have Kubaki in that pull field. You can't have Jackson running at. I mean.
Yeah. So Kubaki will be my main defender. I mean, it's good with me in the 3 because if Jackson does the same thing, he doesn't really need me out there to field, and then I can be in the field for Kubaki and T-Walk.
For sure. And that's what's the important part, I think. Yeah. Because I think you and Jackson will strike out enough people and get like weak ground balls.
Yeah,
you know.
For sure. Yeah. I mean. I like my new team. I think, especially with this matchup.
Say it, taco time, baby.
I think it's a good time for the Tacos to get their first victories of the year as well. I think
it's a sweep.
Taco sweep. The Tacos are alive. Watch out.
Lean tacos.
Yes, the lean tacos. Don't let us make a run because we
just like the Red Sox. Don't let us win tonight.
Yeah, we are very motivated to cause some chaos
last spot, man,
in the playoffs.
All right, so preview the Flamingos and the Maniacs for us.
All right, let's find these lineups here. So for the Flamingos, we got Vince Carullo, Matt Dykstra, I'm assuming.
Schwitzer.
Matt Schwitzer, completely wrong. Rob Warren
and Elijah.
So, Greg, there is some controversy around this lineup.
Yeah.
Get into that really quick.
So, according to sources,
screenshots.
Yeah. I think the team they think Elijah earned a spot to play.
Okay.
Because of the way he's been playing, and Grant had like a tough. I did
He
say this earlier.
He did have the first earned run against Caleb this year. Took him way deep.
Yes.
Like, bent Caleb over and made him call him daddy deep.
So, yeah, and so Grant had a tough decision. You know, he said, well, you know, Luke's got to play too. He hasn't been playing, and you know, everyone they outvoted and said, you know, we want Elijah. So, I mean, that's a tough spot for an owner when you have your guys, they trust somebody.
Yeah.
But you want to listen to them, right? You want to listen to them and say, like, okay, I trust you guys, what you're saying.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, it puts that other guy in a tough spot, and I think he changed the lineup. But
And what other rumors came out of that
which wait?
with Luke?
Oh, yeah, they wants a trade? Yeah, so.
There's some trade demands out there.
Who's playing for the Maniacs here?
The Maniacs are rolling out with their lineup of Kevin, Tony Lucido, Tyler Van Kuiken, my guy, and Mason Capuch. Who knows? I'll just go. I said it earlier. I really like this lineup of that Kevin's put together for the Maniacs. Just top to bottom. If Mason, if he pitches like I think he can pitch, I mean, like I said, it was a wind game that we played, but he was still throwing strikes against the wind, and it looked good.
Well, I think last week, too, people were saying that, like Eric's team was saying that, yeah, he did throw really well.
Yeah, so I'm going with a Maniac sweep here. I think they got a really good top to bottom lineup.
Flamingo's playing pretty well. I'm gonna say split.
Okay.
I think they are really cohesive together. Those four, how's
Schwitzer been doing? He's been getting sledded around the league.
Pretty good. His pitching has come around a lot. I talked a lot of crap about it the first couple weeks because his pitching numbers were bad, but he's turned it around essentially, and I think he's doing a lot better. But yeah, now I think his bat's kind of gone down a little bit because obviously you lose 2 games, 1-0.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, everyone needs to. Vince and him need to get the bat on the ball and hit some home runs. Like, do something because you can't count on Elijah and Rob. Elijah and Rob are good.
Yeah.
They will pitch well for you, and they can get some base hits.
I can't really sleep on them though. Like, it's tough because I mean they've both been having kind of breakout years for them.
Yeah.
Rob's been playing really well every time I look.
Yeah.
I don't have his stats.
Rob and Elijah are like $30 players.
Yeah,
and
I don't have their stats in front of me, but every time I'm looking, I'm seeing them on base.
Right around that spot,
you know. Pitching well. Rob's always been a good pitcher. Yeah, but his bat's coming around this year. So yeah, I mean.
That's why I say split. That's a tough call.
It is tough.
So
I'm gonna stand with my sweep there, but yeah, who knows?
You need the Flamingos to get swept every week.
Yeah, they might be a little biased in that, but
but you still play them. But anyway, the last matchup's probably gonna be the biggest matchup of the week. The Barnstormers and the Liners. Well, biggest besides the Narwhals and Badgers because those are both very pivotal positioning games here. So the Barnstormers rolling out Gags, Hayworth, Tuck, and Timmy Angel. Timmy Angel been playing pretty well from what I've been seeing.
Has he?
Yeah, pretty good salary. And then Caleb's rolling out Carter, him, Mark Richards, and Joey S. I can't remember somebody on his team. I can't remember his last name, but I don't know him at all. So I have no opinion on that.
Joey S.
Joey Skrbina. Skrbina? Not that I ever know of. It's probably a kid. No. Not that I know of. Unless he's on a team that I didn't know nothing about. I think he's a friend of Caleb's just from somewhere. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's strange. But, I mean, good.
An unknown, but...
Yeah. I gotta go split.
Yeah.
It's just I think the Barnstormers take game.
The
one.
Liners are kind of in that spot.
They're a game 2 team. I don't know. Hayworth's been up and down this year, so if you're gonna tell me it's Caleb versus Hayworth for 2 innings each, I'm gonna take Caleb. 10 times out of 10. No
Yeah.
offense to Hayworth. Like, he's a really good player, but Caleb has kind of positioned himself to take that game too.
Always, yep.
And I don't know who this Joey S is, but I'm sure. I mean, if he's okay, Timmy's, if he's been fine, that's good. But I
Yeah.
don't think he's going to be too much behind him. So
Yeah.
I think it's time.
That the Barnstormers lose a game?
Yeah, and I feel like it'll be good for them to lose a game at some point here too.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, and this is the Barnstormers' hardest. I mean, they got all those somewhat easy teams out of the way.
yeah.
And they did what they need to do. They won all those games, but now
I won't get to face them this year.
No.
Or you guys.
No.
I don't get to play the Narwhals or the Barnstormers. The two games I was looking forward to.
maybe in the
most.
playoffs.
Yeah,
So
maybe. But,
that's possible.
yeah.
So the Barnstormers got really the toughest part of their schedule coming up. They have Liners, us next week for the wedding game. Then they have the Sluggers, the Badgers.
Yeah.
They have all the toughest teams coming up. So and then the Maniacs.
Yeah.
So that's a really tough challenge coming down the stretch. I'm gonna say split as well, just because that's what the trend is. The Liners have done that, and I think they're gonna Caleb finds a way to win a game.
Yeah.
Just like the Barnstormers will not get swept. I don't think. I
Yeah.
really think it's a battle of, just determination here. Caleb, and he will take over a game, and 2 innings. Yeah, like you said, 2 innings of Hayworth versus Caleb.
Yeah.
Love Hayworth, but yeah, it's the same thing. It's
Yeah. And
I
I think,
don't
like I
think
said,
so.
the Barnstormers they might slide here a little bit towards the end of the year, but they've done enough
oh yeah.
to position themselves top.
Well, even if they split
top
against most of
three,
these teams,
they'll be top 3 if they split the rest
Yeah.
of the way. So they've done enough, and obviously the chemistry is there for those guys. So
absolutely.
it's not going to be the end of the world if they lose some games here. Competition's good coming up, so.
They'll still be at the top, like you said. I don't think they really drop out top 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think they'll be top 3
yeah.
either way the rest of the year.
Even if they lose,
if they
a
get
couple.
swept even a week, but they'll still end up with 15 plus wins. That should be plenty
good,
to lock that up. So
Yeah, so that's gonna do it for week 7 matchups. Yeah, 7.
who knows, man?
So we're gonna try and get into these questions. I don't know anymore.
I'll go to the Facebook post.
Oh,
If
okay.
you want to do the chat.
Sure, I'll do that. Gosh, there's so many questions. Always annoying.
So we covered Rob's kind of questions about the
Yep.
salary and what
And
Deckinga said.
yeah.
Let's see. Tim came at me about my involvement. That was funny. Not.
So
Tim did say that he was going to be the overlord of Indiana in the next 5 years, and he would be running GBL, Circle City, and Orable. You want my hot take on this? In the next 5 years, there will only be one league left in Indiana, and it's going to be Orable. All the other fast pitch leagues, we're all getting older. I think they will all die in the next 5 years, and then it'll just be the old man Orable league left.
come on, bro.
That is my prediction.
Come on, bro.
Whatever.
We'll see.
Greg, do you support Worth 127?
Yes.
I don't have any clue what that is.
It's Tom Vanderwall, for some reason, me and him have beef because he's said a lot of shit about my mom
Oh, Jesus
throughout
Christ.
the years
Okay.
in fantasy
Fuck,
football
my bad.
and saying terrible things about it, saying he hopes I have a heart attack and die, which my family has
Who the hell is this
a
guy?
lot of heart
My bad. I
conditions
didn't
and
know
stuff.
this was a real thing.
Oh, no, yeah. He can go suck it. I don't really care.
All right,
So-
well, we're an anti-Tom
Put it on.
Vanderwall podcast.
So,
Wow.
I mean, honestly, I really don't care at this point. I've tried to be cordial with him.
Jeez.
I tried to joke around with him one time, and he didn't take the joke. He thought I was being serious and being a jerk to him after he spent all season in fantasy football saying stuff about my mom. So
Yikes.
yeah.
Who is this guy?
He is a guy that drinks craft beer. He showed up a couple
He looks
times
like
in Leroy.
he looks like a dweeb.
So,
I got your back on this one, Greg.
anyway. So,
All right, I'll ask you a different question.
anyway, so Hayworth is getting married. Thoughts? Yes, that's a real thing. And guess who's conducting the wedding?
I needed, Tuck said it was No, I don't know who it was. He said it was somebody good. Huh? Tuck. No shit. He said the guy conducting the wedding was pretty awesome, so that makes sense. What the fuck is going on?
I don't know. He's gonna be on top of the Connex though.
Holy fuck! Are they all gonna be up there, or is it just gonna be Tuck?
I don't know.
What
Peach
up,
hush.
this is nuts. I mean, shout out to Hayworth's girl.
She was the one that came up with it.
Yeah, like she's fucking awesome. She's a really cool chick.
Yeah, she is.
And she's always there at Leroy supporting them. So I mean, I'm happy for them. I was caught way off guard by this. But cool, I'll be there, so I'll be enjoying it.
Yeah, it's right before my game.
This will probably be the first time that I ever.
Everyone says don't ruin the wedding. I'm like, well, sorry, I'm gonna try and win 2 games.
Yeah, this will probably be the first time I ever drink at Leroy. I'll probably have a drink with Hayworth for the big day.
So,
is it? It's
good for him.
It's not official.
What do you mean?
Tuck is not a.
There may be some rumors that he's taken.
What is going on? What the fuck?
Where's Caleb is a question. Who knows? I haven't talked to him in like 2 days. So.
Caleb is in. He's in Indianapolis.
Is it for Circle City?
I don't know if he has games this week. I'm gonna just say that he does.
Who knows?
For the sake of that. I did call it. I don't know if I've been on since then, but I did call that Caleb does care more about Circle City this year than Leroy.
Absolutely.
That has been proven accurate. But so it's allowed me to come on this podcast. So see ya.
Hello. All right. How come the Melonheads only win when I'm there? Garrett says.
You're the manager.
And you're probably their best player. Not maybe. You are their best player.
Yeah. So maybe you should be there more often, and then your team might be a little more competitive, sir.
Yeah.
I'll ask a question here, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happened, this is from Ian. Whatever happened to the minor leagues? Did that just get swept under the rug? This can solve the issues of Kermit players. Tim told him to shush.
So
in a GIF. It was just an idea that in theory, to me, it's a good idea, but you don't have the.
We fully intended on doing it, and that was the point of having 3 Kermits, so you could have you shared a minor league with another team. Yeah. You could have a 6-person roster to field 3 people from those 6 to play in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
But with everything going on in the kind of weird start to the year, that kind of stopped it. Plus,
I don't think it was going to happen anyways.
We weren't prepared. Tim made all these things and then does what he does. He doesn't do anything in the winter for a while.
Yeah.
When he gets back, the stats and stuff, when the season gets started, we always get there, but it's always kind of me, Jared, Caleb a lot, and Sam getting the field. Like, that's kind of the board work.
Yeah.
But so to talk about that though, my question to people would be, if you are a regular player in Leroy like Deckinga or Rob Warren or some of these people, would you want to play in a minor league system where it meant nothing? There's no playoffs, no.
Yeah, I remember when you brought it up on the podcast last year, initiating it or in the off season, whatever. That was my point. I'm like, why would?
I don't think people would.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
You want to come out on a Monday to not have anything count. It's good for young people. Yeah. Like if we were trying to introduce a lot of young talent to the league, I think it'd be great. But I'm sorry, I just really can't. You tell me Justin Deckinga is going to leave his wife to go play a minor league game that doesn't mean anything, and he might get signed to a major league roster and play more.
Yeah, no, it's more disrespectful than anything.
I think, for those people that have been around for a long time, so there's a lot of other solutions to have people play, as we've talked about. So, is Greg's Corgi the unofficial mascot of Leroy? Not really.
I mean, I'm into it. Just chilling right now.
Yeah, she's
chiming in every once in a while on the pod tonight. I'm gonna say yeah. I don't know who else would be. So
that was gonna be my minor league name, the Courageous Corgis.
Oh, okay, not bad. I got one here.
You got one?
Yeah, this is from Tom. So he said, who's going to be not counting Caleb's 150 homers that came off Colin Peters and Jake Altoff with the wind blowing out every week for 8 years. So Caleb's home runs do not count. But who's going to be technically the 5th player in Leroy to reach 100 home runs?
So I was looking at that, and I'd have to say out of all those people, so John has 99.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to play. Kyle Jansma, rest in peace.
Isn't he playing this week?
No.
I thought I saw that.
He plays. He's on the Riot roster, but he is former Dutch Oven.
Yeah.
So
we saw clips the other day of Dutch Oven versus the free agent Otters. Greg getting into that bucket.
Anyway, so and then you go down to Colin. He's out of town. So honestly, I'd have to say Matt or Marty are 87.
I'm going to
say Marty.
I'm going Kevin. Kevin's been on a tear this year. Kevin's right below.
Oh yeah, he's right. He's at 86.
He's at 86. He's kind of been the most available, and I don't know. I saw a week of him hitting like 6 home runs already this year.
Yep.
So I think just with his consistency, if it's going to be anybody, for me, it's going to be Kevin. If Colin was still around full time, I would say him because he swings a great bat. But my pick is Kevin.
Yep. So I say Marty.
Okay.
So
that was actually a productive question from Tim.
That was actually a really good one.
Props
for
to
once. Brett asks, how much will Greg be benching by September 1st?
Fuck yeah.
We'll see how comfortable I feel getting on that equipment.
Got Greg back into Planet with me yesterday. It was a good time putting some work in, getting back into it a little bit.
And then tonight was trying to make some money during the dinner rush for DoorDash.
So we're easing our way back in, but slowly but surely, Greg will hit 300 bench press by next year. You heard it here first. I got one? Yes, I got a bunch. Tom asks, when will the 6 owners who haven't paid their owners' fees pay their fees?
That's the greatest question, and I'm going to guess that it's probably Jordan, Garrett. Yeah, there's probably some of them. Eric. Yeah. We'll see. So I think Ian said he's paid his.
Pay your fees. Tim's got a
we got to buy some more balls.
Tim's got a night of blackjack coming up with the casinos opening. He needs some petty cash to take to the table.
Will Tim be eating ass, boob, both or none of these for dinner? I'm going to assume none.
I'm going to say boob.
Because he did not seem like it was going to be a good dinner. But
I'm going to say boob. Tim strikes me as a boob guy.
Very much so.
Good. See? There you go.
All right.
And me. No, this was Tim's shitty idea of expanding the league. Let's see. Every year, another question. Every year, Caleb says he's going to scale back and play less wiffle. Then every year he adds another league. When he scales back next year, what league will he add to his play? Caleb did respond to the Indianapolis Wiffle League led by the best commissioner in Indiana, Jake Fine. R.I.P. to Jake Fine. I miss you, bud. Please come back.
Yeah, what happened to that league, man?
I think it's COVID, man.
Yeah, I know.
It gets the best of us.
So,
but Caleb is definitely spreading himself thin this year.
I could definitely see him next year if that Indianapolis league starts back up, going out to them and helping them. But obviously, he's not going to play in that league.
I think just going off of this, Caleb is going to start traveling.
Oh yeah,
to the East Coast
to play
for sure in some of these tournaments. So I think you'll see a little bit more of that. Maybe not leagues, but I think if his
he's going to play in about 7 tournaments in a year. Yeah, scale back.
If they keep stroking him off, he's going to make his meaty debut out there here pretty soon.
Will Dave and Sheriff go at it tomorrow, or will Obamagate unite us? I don't know.
I think
Jared will get really pissed at Dave.
Dave did say that the Badgers were his favorite team outside of the Narwhals. I don't know if that's changed now that I left the team.
It was you and Sheriff that he liked.
So we don't know, but Dave did come at me and Sheriff on Twitter pretty hard over a couple days there this past week, tweeting out a photo challenge or a caption challenge on the photo of me.
Roasting.
Yeah. I think if Dave is Dave, I think that it'll crack Sheriff. And I think Sheriff will get pissed.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's the only way.
The only thing that happened last week was an elbow that was put down, which T-Walk admittedly said he did the same thing. So that was the only thing that happened, and then him and Sam got into it, and then that just turned into a one thing can set off Dave. So we'll see. But
I have the best question of the night. Jeff Borkowski out of the clouds.
I've got a follow up to that one, so this is a good time.
Asking Greg Geerling, fuck, marry, kill your Narwhals roster.
That's a tough question.
So we got, we'll just pick 3 of them. I'll leave Wes out of it because you'd probably marry Wes. So fuck, marry, kill, Chef, Buzik, Cam Verlon.
Ugh, man, this is tough. I don't want to offend anyone. I don't think they'll
sack
give a
up,
shit,
Greg.
But,
get into it.
We'll go F Dave.
You gotta fuck Dave.
Mary is the tough one. We have to go with my ace then. I'm just gonna have to, and then sorry, Cam.
Wow, Cam, you know where you stand now if you're listening.
No.
You are you're the bottom feeder of Greg's team.
Ashby, Gramala, or Caitlyn Jenner.
I never met Ashby. Or I don't know who Gramala is. I don't even think I've ever heard
It's
that
her
name.
friend.
Okay. Or Caitlyn Jenner. I'm gonna go with your team. So you got fuck Dave. I'm killing Chef. Chef Cam Verlon seems like he'd be a good
That's
guy to
tough, man. I don't know. I don't want to.
Chef's a clown. Sorry, Chef.
Can I marry both of
Nope.
Cam and
Nah,
Chef?
Greg, that's a T-walk. You
That's
gotta leave the 3 ways to T-walk. I don't know. I'm not answering the other one. I don't know any of them.
Anyway,
shout out to you though, Borkowski. That was
a real question.
fantastic.
Can the championship winner get a ride in the camper? Only if it's a narwhal. So that's your answer.
Shame. Greg just won't let any of us in the camper.
Not anyone in Leroy besides
Whatever. I retweeted
NWA people.
I retweeted the tweet that went viral for Greg. Sad. Next
You know
question.
You have a fucking invite.
Tyler Van Kyken. Is cereal soup, Greg?
I mean, kind of.
I think
It
is.
can be.
I think it's soup. What is soup?
I mean, yeah. Do you consider warmness a part of soup? Because, I mean, you can't really have cold soup. Cold soup's kind of bad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is that the line? Warm and cold? I mean,
It's a good question. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's really any cold soups.
yeah.
I'm going to say no.
So, let's see. Is this the Sliders last year as a franchise?
Probably not.
I hope so.
It's probably not. They're your most iconic franchise, whether that's good or bad. Jordan stuck it out through the toughest of times here. Yeah, I think Jordan sticks around until the end. Whether or not that's good or
Until
not.
season
like I
about
said.
15.
Yeah. The Sliders are forever.
Do you have any more questions
I
there?
do, yeah.
Okay.
Tim's final question: should we have a family/kid day at one of the weeks of Leroy? Each team brings a mascot. So Tyler Walk brings tacos. Greg Geerling dresses up as a narwhal. Jordan Moselle
Interesting.
will have strippers as his first and third base coaches. Caleb Yonkman gives free lines of coke to all the kids.
Yeesh.
And Tim brings guns and kills people. Greg, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that as it is. Sam has a couple questions here.
Okay.
Will the Badgers drop me after tomorrow and give me a fourth shot at the Narwhals?
I hope
Follow up to that, can I just play against the Narwhals every week? If we force it, will Dave and I eventually become friends? And then he sends a Timon saying nope.
I I do think at some point, yeah, those two will end up being cool. You just have to understand Dave and just accept what he brings to the table. And
Dave's misunderstood, man.
he is. He's finally going to be heard by the Wiffle world, though.
So
there's rumors next week Dave's not going to be the only guest on the show. His potential.
I may not be on the show. Who knows?
Yeah, I may be just running the show next week, trying to just keep them in line. But yeah, Dave's potential new Wiffle partner in podcasting might be making his Going Corn debut next week. He's the overlord of Wiffle Ball, the creator of the NWLA. We'll see.
Question: is Mason good? And Mason Kapouch.
Absolutely.
We already talked about that.
Stud.
Who is one person in the league that I would trade Dave for besides Caleb, Ryan, and Jackson? Answer: I would never trade Dave. He is the heart and soul of the Narwhals.
You tried to trade Dave for me.
No.
Fun fact. Yep, I have the text.
Not true. So
speaking of Dave, I did reach out to Dave for any comments since he was supposed to be on the podcast this week. So first,
he's in St. Louis, so I thought I'd give him his
So
space.
it was he's okay with not being on this week, but he will be here next week. First, Dave wanted to make sure that the world knows that the Narwhals raised Sam Stahl's ERA last week from 3 to 7.38. They more than doubled his ERA, and Dave wants to make sure that everyone in the league knows that he owns Sam Stahl. These are just words from Dave. I can't fact check any of this, but seems accurate. Dave also wanted to let everyone know that next week he will be debuting the Ask Dave segment, where the people will be able to write in questions, and he will respond to every single question that is written into him. No topics are off limits. So that is an announcement for next week. Breaking news. New guest, new segment on the show, Greg. What are your thoughts?
Oh, he's adding a segment to the show.
Yep. Hashtag Ask Dave. People will be writing in on Twitter and Facebook to just ask Dave. I mean, Dave's got a lot to say. And
I may be not back from my vacation in time for this podcast. You and Caleb might have to just do it on your own, and T-Walk might have to be on it too so he can actually record it.
Greg, I'm going to need you to, Dave needs to be heard. These are Dave's requests. I'm okay with them. I get it. I'm okay with them. But, yeah, I mean, I'm super excited for next week. Hopefully.
If you are still listening at this point in the podcast, tune in next week because it's going to be electric. That's for sure.
Hopefully we did a good job tonight to.
I think we did.
To hold it over until then, but God, it's going to be an
might have to last a couple weeks.
It's going to be an electric factory next week.
Whew.
Dave Buzik unleashed.
We are talking wiffle, guys. Not.
Oh no. No topics off limits. This needs to be known, Greg.
Anyway, so is there anything else before we go?
I don't think I have anything else.
I think that's a good spot to end it on. Jeez.
I think we're good here. It should be an interesting week tomorrow. A lot of new teams, a lot of new changes to teams. So we'll see how it all shakes out.
Yep. So for Ryan and myself, this has been Going Corn.
See ya.